Hello and welcome to Wingin It, and welcome back to another Wingspan tournament game here. This one is going to be a post-commentary, so this is a game I played a few weeks ago now, and yeah, I wanted to go back and rewatch this one, give some commentary over it, because I thought it was a pretty interesting game with some interesting storylines through from working through a tricky starting hand, taking a few calculated risks near the end of the game, but most importantly, just trying to have fun. Playing some Wingspan. So yeah, we are going to jump into this game. We are going second, so let's take a look and see what we get in this starting hand. And as I said, not really the best. Definitely, yeah, would like a better start than this. No real good brown powers. I mean, Bushlark and Nutcracker, not really the kind of options I look at going for. And no real card access, only a couple of birds that can go in the wetlands, and a when played power and a pink power. Yeah, not really what I'm looking for, but I think those are going to be the two ones that I look at keeping here. Got to say, Sacred Kingfisher can work out well, but in a two-player game here, I think these kind of pink powers are never really going to get triggered that often, but it could certainly be an option to go in the wetlands here, draw some cards. And I'm just going to keep the Snowy Owl because maybe that could be a good gamble to take. Could be a good way of just getting something in the grasslands, and of course, the bird power getting an egg as well. Yeah, could work out quite nicely. So opponent's opening up with a forest bird, which is a good sign because it means they're probably going to take some food. And yeah, hopefully trigger this Kingfisher. So I'm just going to get that in the game. And yeah, see where we go. This, this start is not a great situation to be in with no real good card access. But, Wingspan can change very quickly with some good draws from the deck. So that's what we're hopefully going to be able to do. And can always maybe look at spending some food if I want to reset this tray, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So we'll spend the food. Nothing especially good coming off the deck. So yeah, maybe looking at that Monal, but I found that one really tricky to work with, giving out so much food with the power like that. So off the deck again, and something slightly better, Tree Swallow. Yeah, that could be an option to go with in this wetlands, but yeah, really I'm kind of hoping for a food generating bird or just something to give me a bit of direction with some kind of engine in this early game. And if I can't find that, I think it might just have to be, going and doing a little bit more digging. So with 4 birds kept on my opponent's side, I'm definitely interested to see how that gets played. Maybe it was just keeping some birds to tuck through the swift because, yeah, they're going to draw birds without a wetland bird. So we've got to watch out for that. But I'm going to keep digging. I'm going to keep drawing and still not really getting anything good coming from these tray resets, but we do get some slightly better options there off the top of the deck. So Pukeko and Noisy Miner, both good egg generating birds, which I feel like is always the key. If I can find a nice egg generator in the first round, that just helps, give a bit of direction, give something to focus on and some way of, maybe building out my board here. So just trying to work out how I can, approach the rest of this round. And yeah, which birds to prioritize? Maybe Tree Swallow. There is still a place for that on this board as well. If I'm going to go Noisy Miner, that sort of tuck and lay power does need cards in order to make that work. So I will have to draw. And having good brown powers in there is definitely going to help out. So I'm going to take some food here just to get what I need for the Noisy Miner. Not really too much nectar coming up, which is a little bit of a concern. That might, make playing some of these birds, for example, the Tree Swallow, a little bit trickier without that coming up. So have to see what we can do there. But yeah, you might see an opponent when I drew cards again. So even keeping 4 birds at the start, going and drawing twice blind off the top of the deck like that, maybe means that they didn't have quite such a good starting hand either. So yeah, we'll wait to see how that plays out. But at the very least now, I feel like I've got a little bit of direction, something to be getting on with, get this miner in the game. And probably it's going to be Pukeko, I think. Get that in as well in the wetlands, if I can get the food for that. And yeah, just build something out, get some more egg access going. But yeah, got to start with the Noisy Miner. So that is going to go in here as our first forest play. But we've got to think carefully about that because that is going to help my opponent as well, giving away some eggs. So yeah, may need to sort of work around that, but Grassland Bird is going in the flycatcher, so maybe don't need to worry too much about giving away eggs in that situation. So got to tuck here. Got to decide, yeah, what do I want to get rid of? I mean, did keep that snowy owl at the start, but I don't think really I'm going to need that anymore, given that I have got the egg access elsewhere. And yeah, I think that tree swallow could be a good play, especially if this flycatcher is going to give me some free worms. Just help me a little bit towards, yeah, being able to build out in that wetlands, spend some of that food coming through. And yeah, hopefully with some more card cycle as well, can yeah, get a chance at finding some more good birds. So we'll see what we can find from the deck, of course. But yeah, I think at least in the short term, just being able to get a bird for this end of round goal as well certainly doesn't hurt. So opponent laying eggs, giving us the free worm, very nice. And yeah, in goes Pekeko. So that is going to work out nicely. And we've got lots of egg space as well on the Kingfisher. I do play the tree swallow. We'll have plenty there as well, so should not run out of egg space there. And I was starting to feel good about my board, and then my opponent went to play Killdeer. So yeah, this is the moment in the game where I thought we could be losing this one. This could be curtains in this situation. So yeah, giving a long hard look at that Killdeer and reevaluating all of my life choices, because there's a very nice situation here in that grasslands with a flycatcher, and of course with the Swift as well, to be tucking, yeah, some of those extra cards. So I'm going to go off the deck, and I'm looking at this Asian Coal. I think, yeah, if my opponent is going to be laying eggs a lot, I think getting the pink powers is always good. But also even finding that purple martin, that's a great pickup. We've already got the worm for that as well. So could look at playing that coming into round number 2. And indeed, yeah, nothing really too good in the tray. I mean, Brolga, I think if I hadn't already got some other good wetland birds to play, I would definitely look at an option like that. Pretty nice power to be going with. But yeah, I think priority has got to be just build out this wetland. So yeah, purple martin feels like a no-brainer here. Get that in, get even more tucking birds down. And yeah, maybe then I can think about, maybe I take food. I've got this goldfinch that I can tuck under the miner, and maybe just get the tree swallow in, and then suddenly, you know, 3-point wetlands, seeing lots of cards, drawing lots of cards, starting to get some direction, starting to get something going in this game. And yeah, hopefully being able to feel a little bit more positive about what we're able to do. But it's going to be tough against Killdeer. That's always a good bird here in the grasslands. So yeah, we've definitely got to watch out for that. But we are going to get some free worms coming through from this flycatcher, which is very, very welcome indeed. So yeah, going to take some food, hope for some nectar. Not quite coming through. This bird feeder is, yeah, liking me about as much as the starting hand was, unfortunately. So we're going to have to do a bit of forcing here, but I think it's going to be worth it. Yeah, tree swallow. Just being able to get that in early in the game like this, being able to push out the wetlands, just be able to get more card access. If we're going to have a chance in this game, it's going to be through seeing lots of cards and hopefully being able to get good ones from that. So every little bit of food coming through here of the pink power is also going to help. So very much appreciate that. Yeah, tree swallow going to force that in here. So that's the strength of the noisy miner, really, being able to take food and get 2 eggs to be able to play a bird like that so quickly. You know, the tempo gain has been good here, I think, from these brown powers that I have been able to get in. And that's been very, very nice. Again, yeah, more free food coming in, so I'll keep taking that. That is, yeah, definitely going to help with hopefully playing some nice birds. And there's one off the top of the deck, Yellowhammer. That's the kind of bird that could save a game, that can definitely turn things around. So still time in this round for me to be able to take food, play that, lay eggs, and then use it. So yeah, the cogs are now sort of starting to turn on what I can play. And there we go, main duck now comes up. So, you know, if we talk about game-changing birds, I think we've just found 2 of them in a single turn there. A little bit annoyed that I have already filled up my wetlands so much, because that Canada goose could potentially have formed a great combo there. But, you know, still being able to get that bird in, main duck, I think that's got to be done. And yeah, really just build around this nice wetlands that we can get going. And again, the free food, you know, this Kingfisher pink power, this has done so much better than I could have ever expected at this stage of the game. And yeah, it's really going to help support, let's say, the teal power in the Yellowhammer. So going to take some food. Still no nectar. I don't really know what's going on with this bird feeder. We're definitely not getting the good fortune there. But yeah, got to think what to tuck. I mean, I want to keep the main duck, but I also want to keep both these pink powers But the real problem is, for both these pink powers, I don't actually have the nest type. I've got no cup nests. I've got no platform nests. So, yeah, playing either of them would be a gamble at this stage. No real certainty. So I'll keep the coal just because it's got that little bit more flexibility on the habitat, but also on being able to go over on the nest capacity. So that may be a nice option later on. But for now, it's all about this yellow hammer. So yeah, get that in the game. And there's still time to make this work. I mean, we're a little bit low on the points, I think, compared to where I'd like to be. But that's just, you know, a result of the slightly slow start, the slightly weak starting hand, spending time setting up our engine. But I'm really hoping that this kind of setup, you know, from round 3 onwards, especially getting that main duck in there, we're just really going to be able to accelerate and build something really, really strong here. So yeah, last turn of the round for us. I say, got to lay eggs. Got to be able to use this yellow hammer. And it's going to be main duck going in. So that's just going to cap off this wetlands. And I say it time and time again, whenever I'm playing these teal power games, whether it's Yellowhammer, Maltoni, the Wagtail, you always want a key habitat to focus on. For us, it's going to be the wetlands. And yeah, for my opponent, clearly still this grasslands. It's looking really good now. So they actually went with the Monal that I ignored earlier. And that is potentially going to form a really strong combo with the Santal Crane being able to get the seed and then obviously turn that into 2 tucks. So this grasslands, it's looking very powerful, but it's also looking very generous. We're going to get fed lots of food here. And with Yellowhammer, you know, that's just going to help us play even more birds when we've actually not got great food access here. So yeah, free seed comes through, free worm comes through, and a free Maltoni coming through as well in the tray. So that I do like to see. Yeah, potentially we can be doing double teals here. And this is kind of the point of the game where I thought, let's just have fun with this. I don't think I've really got much of a chance up against that killer grassland. So let's just go with the teals. Let's just play my favourite birds in the game, have a bit of fun with it, see what we can do. And yeah, maybe try and fill the board. You know, I think that's always enjoyable. And, you know, why do we play this game? We play it to enjoy ourselves and have fun. So Maltoni getting picked up here. And I mean, also finding that red-eyed vireo, very, very nice, because we could double play into the Asian coal and immediately get the nest type that we need for that. And yeah, I think up against this grasslands, I'm going to need every little bit of help I can get. Obviously, the free food coming through is going to be really nice, but if I can get some free eggs and just chip away, you know, 1 point each time my opponent lays eggs, it's just going to help contribute to, yeah, downgrading that engine slightly. But the eggs as well, I think, will be useful, especially if I am going to go with Maltoni alongside the Yellowhammer. I'm going to be playing 2 birds at the end of each round. I'm going to need every extra egg that I can get hold of. So still laying eggs. My opponent's still using this Monal. And got to say, that Dark-Eyed Junco in the tray, I thought my opponent would have been all over that. Great synergy, obviously, with the kill dib, being able to tuck cards, get the food, which you need for the Santal Crane. Felt like an obvious pickup, but maybe they've got something else in mind for that final slot. So I'm not going to worry about going and blocking it if they're not going to pick it up. And instead, I can, yeah, use all this free food to go do that lovely double plate in the forest. So another pink power going in. And yeah, if that coal, if that can do half as well as what that Kingfisher has done for me so far, then we're going to be in a good spot going through the rest of this game. So yeah, 4 turns left in this round. I know I've got to take food. I know I've got to lay eggs. Just wondering whether I play this Maltoni now or whether I use the Yellowhammer to play the Maltoni and then chain that into another play at the end. I think if I've got more birds to play, I definitely want to be getting Maltoni down. But at the moment, I've got nothing in my hand. And the way this wetlands is shaping up with the main duck, you know, I'm going to be tucking a lot there. I've got to have cards to tuck for the Noisy Miner as well. So yeah, lots of little things to think about. And make sure that I'm not, you know, skipping too many tucks, missing out on point potential in the wetlands. But I mean, if I do find some good birds, it's going to be very hard to tuck those instead of playing them. So yeah, it looks like my opponent's still laying eggs, still hammering this grasslands, still giving out all this free food, which I will happily take. It's exactly what I need. And first free egg coming through from the coal as well. Very, very nice. So happily take that. And yeah, time to go and draw cards and dig again. See what good birds we can get. Baltimore Oriole, very, very nice big point option. Like that a lot. and this wild turkey as well, eating some of those seeds that we're getting plenty of. So yeah, I'm going to try and keep both of these, I think, here. And really, it's just about what I tuck on the main duck, what I tuck and draw here. Whipping crate would have been nice, but no space for that. At the very least, my opponent's not going to get it. Now I decided to block the Joko, so I don't really know why. Probably shouldn't have done, because now we've revealed Kiwi, which would have been a pretty nice one for me to get my hands on. Obviously will be nice for my opponent as well, but yeah, I don't know why. I think I felt like I'd left that Junko there long enough, and I didn't want to risk it being picked up, because like I say, I feel like it would have been a really good one for my opponent. But yeah, obviously Kiwi, I think, is going to be better. They do pick that up, unsurprisingly. But yeah, I think now, given that I've actually got 2 good birds to play here, I could definitely look at getting Moltoni down this round as well. Then maybe we get Oriole and Turkey in. But equally, you know, the Oriole is so good, I could actually just look at playing that now. And potentially, you know, the berry that's going to come through from that could be useful for either the Moltoni or the Turkey. So we've got options here in terms of what I want to do, what order I want to play stuff in. But really, I've got to take food as well at some point and see what I can get through, yeah, from the bird feeder. And just need nectar. You know, the unbelievable thing of this game is, you know, I've played 10 birds and I've spent exactly 1 nectar, which is the one that I started the game with. So, yeah, very little nectar has showed up for me in the bird feeder. And if I'm going to be playing more birds, if I'm going to be, you know, at least trying to qualify for these nectars, I've not been able to in the wetlands just purely because of the food availability. But if I can, yeah, make sure that, you know, I'm qualifying in the grasslands, just trying to pick up a few points there. But also just the food flexibility that I need in order to pay for these birds is going to be important. So nice play there for my opponent. Hood Warbler, that's what you want when you're relying just on worms for food. So looking good there. We're going to take food. We're going to finally get some nectar. So yeah, going to grab 2 of those while I can. Throw the Junko and actually going to skip the Noisy Miner in this case. So yeah, obviously would have been nice to use that, but it's kind of not the end of the world. I mean, it looks like it's a lot of skipped points because it's a 3-point activation, but obviously my opponent gets 1 point, and every card as well, you know, if I'm going to skip a tuck somewhere else to be able to tuck on the Noisy Miner, then I'm losing a point there. So it's only 1 point to skip by not using it, but still would have been one that I would have, yeah, liked to use there. But when I've got these big point birds, you know, I want to be playing Baltimore Oriole, I want to be playing Wild Turkey, because they're fun birds to play. They're big points. And yeah, when I've got double teals, you know, being able to fill the board is a nice flex. And so that's kind of all that's on my mind, really, as, yeah, what I can try and aim for at the end of this game. But still, this free food is just flying in and absolutely going to help me out here as I come through towards this end game. But for now, it's just going to be points because, yeah, I'm going to lay eggs. I've got this option. Yeah, could I discard a food? Actually, going back and forth, you know, do I want to discard it? Do I not? I think there's an argument to be made to actually not discard the food here and just keep as many options open, you know, be flexible going into that last round for more birds to play. But at the same time, you know, I'm fully expecting my opponent to keep hammering that grasslands, keep giving out free food, and yeah, make my life a little bit easier. But for now, we've got birds to play with our 2 teal powers. So yeah, Turkey going in first, very nice. Likewise, Baltimore Oriole, big points, just pushing out this forest, just helping my own food production as well, which is maybe, yeah, making me think again, I can happily discard that little bit of food in the grasslands. So no goal, obviously, for that end of round. We come into the final round, and yeah, not the great trade we were hoping for, but we're going to dig and see what we can get. So some pretty low point birds, although the parakeets come up, which could well be an interesting option. I know my opponent did pick up that North Island brown kiwi, so if I can find another bonus card bird, maybe there's something to do there. Now Indian vultures come up, so again, maybe another bird to gamble with here. Maybe, you know, how confident do I feel in my opponent having a good bonus card? I'm trying to sort of look at their board and think, you know, what bonus card could it be? Obviously, as I said, I know that kiwi's going to come in at some point. That's going to get some good bonus cards potentially. And if I'm filling the board, which is looking pretty likely here, you know, I'm going to play 1 bird this round. I'm going to play 2 with the teals. So in theory, we could be filling up this board. There's every chance of, yeah, a bonus card scoring big points for me here. So if I'm gonna, have any chance in this game, which, as I said, I feel like I'm dead and buried still here, but you got to take gambles if you can have a chance. And this is, the prime situation to go and take a gamble, try and copy some bonus cards, and see if you can get a nice big score. But for now, this wetlands is my strongest habitat. I'm scoring plenty of points. And I'm going to go and keep on drawing cards. And Common Raven came up. Could have been interesting in some situations. Do actually think about keeping it here, because I'm just wondering if maybe I play that in the grasslands, lay eggs, use it to get some nectar, and maybe that's going to help with a bit of food flexibility, maybe on the nectar scoring as well. It could have potentially helped the bonus card as well. We're actually maxed out there already, so I think in the end, I do get rid of it. Don't need that. And otherwise, just keep on scoring points with the tucks on the egg. So it's a 6-point wetlands. It's better than my opponent's grasslands here. We're really hammering that, picking up the points where we can. And we've got some good options to play. I mean, I think between the parakeet, the vulture, and the woodcock, those could all easily be the 3 birds that I want to play here at the end of the game. So, definitely feels like a nice option to have. And we've now suddenly got another option to copy in the Kia going down for my opponent. So, using the parakeet to copy that. If I have got a bit of extra food, which is looking quite likely, I could just dig for an amazing bonus card there, see what I can find, and give me a few more options to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and take food, do get a bit more nectar. And again, that might just give me some options, depending on where I want to play these birds, which, habitats they're going to go in, where am I going to spend this nectar. So maybe some mind games to think about playing there. With these last few plays, because it's quite tight. Not a lot of nectar's been spent on either side in this game. So there's definitely a few things for us to think about. But lots of food and supply. And because of the no goal, we do actually have an extra turn this round. So while I know I've got to play a bird and then I've got to lay eggs, still got an extra turn. So that, I think, is probably going to be able to be spent drawing cards. It's my best turn, my best point scoring turn. But also I'm going to get an extra food from the main duck, but also seeing more birds, and who knows, maybe something else good is going to come our way. House crow, kind of interesting with all this extra food. So, just doing a few sums, is that going to be a better play? Maybe if I use the Kia to copy, use the parakeet to copy something else other than the Kia, that extra food, could I play the house crow? Maybe instead of the vulture, because it is only 0 points, but like I said, I feel like I've got to take gambles here. I feel like I'm so far behind in this game that the only chance I'm going to have is by taking some big bonus gambles late on here. Whether that's, copying the Kia or copying my opponent's bonus card, or both. Those could both definitely return some big point values for me. But I've done all my card drawing. And just coming through into the last few turns. So as I say, just checking the nectars, just seeing, what's the situation at? Where are we? Maybe going to be able to squeeze some points out. Another little bit of free food coming through. So, I'm definitely feeling like copying that Kia is going to be the move to make. But for now, I think pretty straightforwardly, just get this wood cooking. That's the safe points. That's the boring play. No gambling there. I know what I'm getting there. And just another bird in this grasslands means that when I do lay eggs on my last turn, I get the extra egg. I can obviously throw the falcon. But I was looking like we're going to end this game with no cards in hand and no food in supply, which I think is always a good thing. And especially with Yellowhammer and Moltoni, I think being able to use up all your resources in an efficient manner like that is definitely good. But I'm expecting some strong plays for my opponent here. As I say, still know that Kiwi's there somewhere. Lots of food in supply, so very curious to see what's going to get played. I'm thinking maybe something like a stubble quail could be coming in. Just some way of using up extra food. Worst case scenario, I'm thinking Sri Lanka blue magpie is going to appear and suddenly cache a bunch of food. But really just trying to work out, see what my opponent plays. But hoping still that with these teal powers, I've got enough time to react and try and, spend some nectar. It's going to go in the forest. But if I can delay that, hide that information from my opponent, maybe there's some advantage to be gained there. But we can only wait and see what's going to go down on their side, because otherwise I think My last turns are, yeah, pretty well determined. I'd say legs for a few points and then get those 2 birds in. So Kiwi does go down as expected. We're going to get our eggs in and, yeah, spread them out a little bit. You know, there's every chance that Oologist is going to come up, you know, whether it's from the vulture or the parakeet. And maybe I want to be able to score some extra points there. But yeah, kind of interesting, as I say, nectar management. My opponent only spending 2, I think, in the forest there, keeping 1 back for the grasslands. So I think we are going to be able to get a tie through our forest play. But this is just what holding back information is going to do. And Bobolink goes in. That is a big play. Lots of ground nests. So very nice one to have saved up at the end here. But yeah, into our teals. And it's our 2 risky gamble plays coming in. Vulture, of course, but also this parakeet. And I'm definitely going to be copying that here. Now, I did think to myself, I could actually copy the Bobolink here. That would be the safer play, because I've got a few ground nest, star nests myself. But as said, we've made it this far, going with the gambles. And I think with all this extra food, seeing as many bonus cards as I will with this Kia feels totally worth it. So in the parakeet goes, copying the Kia. We're obviously going to draw 1. Brentologist, not great. We're going to draw 6 more. Can we get anything good? You bet we can. 8 points on Mechanical Engineer or Bird Counter, so 2 choices there actually. But yeah, Mechanical Engineer, pretty straightforward keep there for me. And we come into the yellow powers, and interestingly enough, my opponent's going to use their Kakapo first, which is going to give me an extra choice on this Indian Vulture, which I will definitely take that. And hoping for a nice bonus card to copy. What are we going to get? 10-point Ecologist. Thank you very much. I will take that, justifying the filled board there. And yeah, very, very nice pickup for us at the end. So into the nectars. Obviously not such a great story there. Did tie in the forest, lost in the grasslands, and couldn't qualify in the wetlands. That's just how it went. But yeah, we'll see what we can do in these final scores. We know a lot of big point birds went down on both sides, 54 to 53. Obviously the bonus cards were good as well. 25 for us, super strong score. So we're actually holding on to a lead at the moment, but I know my opponent had the grasslands, lots of eggs and lots of tucks, but you know, our main duck did some good work as well. So we're actually holding on to a lead. Even through these nectars, we are going to win this game. 132 points is our final score, up against 125. So yeah, what a game. Right from that starting hand where things looked completely gone, not a good start at all, not able to get the good card draw, and then my opponent capping things off with that killdeer at the end of that first round. But yeah, as I said at the start, this kind of just shows never give up. Keep on digging, keep on going off the top of the deck. Maybe you'll find some good stuff and take those gambles. You know, if you feel like you're behind, which I say, I felt like I was behind this whole game, and I think I was because, you know, realistically, I picked up 18 points worth of bonus cards through the teals and the yellows, which completely swung this game back into my favor. But you never know, and if sometimes your only chance in a game like this is to take those gambles, go for those bonus cards, and just go Hail Mary, see if you get lucky. And I absolutely did get lucky here to be able to win this game. But yeah, I tried to have fun with this game with the double teals, always enjoyable. And yeah, every game of Wingspan, you never know what you're going to get. You can always find a way of making it fun. I definitely feel like I did that here. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed watching that one as much as I enjoyed playing it. And yeah, hope you took away some interesting and useful lessons as well. So if you want to see more content like this, do me a favor, make sure you've hit that subscribe button. Make sure you are following along, and plenty more tournament games on the way. I hope to see you in one of those very, very soon.